brings to that room. Chubb's got 77 yards on the ground, checking down forehand, and do it, stiff arming, keeping his balance. It's a foot race down the sideline, touchdown.
It's Hill. Taysom Hill picks up the Saints' first down, still going. Wow. Hill spins to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown.
All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. All my haters mad, but I don't give a fuck. My chopper hit. My chopper hit. My 40 hit. My 40 hit. I don't care if you let how I step. I don't care if you let how I rip. I don't care if you let how I step. I don't care if you let how I rip. I got sauce, I got flavor. Getting all this paper. I got sauce, I got flavor. Getting all this paper. Plain Jane Paddock on my motherfucking wrist. They notice every time when I walk up in this bitch. Post on walk up in this bitch. Keep my Glock up in this bitch. Post on walk up in this bitch. Keep my Glock up in this bitch. My chopper hit. My chopper hit. My 40 hit. My 40 hit.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very, very special episode of the PMP, the Pigskin Mafia podcast. I am your host, TJ Riddell, and with me is my co-host, my partner in crime, the man that is a legendary Madden player, soon to be on YouTube soon. He is Kaleb Wilburn. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. We have a lot to talk about. It's been a minute, and we got some better technology now, so let's go ahead and make it happen.
Yeah, as people can tell, I got a new microphone, so I'm ready to go, locked and loaded. So, but yes, we have a lot to talk about, and there's gonna be a lot more to talk about during the draft special. Oh, yes, if you haven't heard, we are having a live stream draft special. So this is our first. This could be our first live stream, Kaleb. Are you excited?
Oh, you bet it.
Because I sure am.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one.
It's probably going to be 6 hours worth, and a lot of people are. Yes, we're going to have our own little war rooms. We're going to be having our disagreements, probably shocks. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of things happen in this draft special. I'm excited, and honestly, this draft special is very heavily influenced by Pat McAfee himself. Like, he didn't tell me to do it because he doesn't know me. I'm just a nobody compared to him. He used to be an NFL punter, best punter in the decade, for Christ's sakes. So I'm telling you what, this draft special is the first ever draft special, and we hope to continue on this draft special. But let's get down to business, Kaleb. We're going to be talking about college news just a little bit, but the NFL news is what we're worried about this week. And basically, this whole offseason has been an entire just paradigm shift in the whole NFL. And also, you got a spring league too, the USFL. We'll talk about our thoughts on the USFL as well. So let's get down to the college news. Spring games coming up. So you got 4 Blue Bloods fixing to go at it for the college spring games to see what new young talent's going to rise and what talent is going to be ready to be a part of that Heisman hopeful. And what will we expect these teams to look like? And there's some new coaches at these schools. So let's start with Texas. Texas is starting their spring game this Saturday. The orange and white game, I will be watching that. I am a huge Texas fan, as well as Kaleb is. Steve Sarkisian coming in his second year. There's a lot of high expectations because Bijan's coming back, Xavier Worthy. We probably have the best wide receiving core that we've seen in a long time since the Jordan Shipley, the Marquise Goodwin. Quan Cosby. I mean, just a crazy stat line of receivers for Texas. And also just a high expectation because Steve Sarkisian had his first actual offseason as a Longhorn. So we'll be keeping an eye out for the Longhorns and also an eye out for this team who pretty much just dried up Oklahoma. USC, the mighty Trojans. Lincoln Riley's first year in the Pac-12. Lincoln Riley's first year in USC, along with his young quarterback, Caleb Williams, who completely changed Oklahoma for the better until this offseason for college football. So I expect to see good things out of USC. A lot of work to do for Lincoln Riley, but I expect a lot for USC. The next one, another new coach who actually was a part of Brian Kelly's coaching staff. He got bumped up. Notre Dame, completely different identity, completely different team. We don't know what to expect from Notre Dame, honestly. So we hope to see good things out of the Fighting Irish. And last but not least, formerly known as Go Tigers, is now coached by Brian Kelly, who apparently has a fake Southern accent for his recruiting trail and also his debut as an LSU Tiger. I expect the purple and gold to be pretty decent this year. They had some pretty good transfers come in, so we'll see about that. So now let's talk about one thing that I have put on my list: the USFL, this spring league. So these spring leagues coming up, the XFL, which is returning in 2023, which I am excited to see, and then we have the USFL. Honestly, I'm not impressed. I am impressed, however, how they are running things. They have drones for doing play-by-plays.
Yeah, and they also have that like first-person like camera in the helmets. Have you seen that?
Yes.
That's cool.
I mean, it takes me back. You know, I mean, it just reminds you of being on the field. But
yeah.
Also another thing, the football has a chip in it. You know how Topgolf has chips in it. Now the USFL came up with the concept of having a chip inside the football, so we can know exactly how many inches they need to get the first down. So, for example, you only gain half a yard, and it's 4th and inches. That chip can actually read how many yards you're away from the first down. I don't know if they have lasers for that first down marker, but man, that's exciting. But my only pet peeve is this. They're only playing in Birmingham. All 8 teams are playing in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm. That is weird.
So that tells me right there, there's some financial issues with the league. They're all staying in a hotel in Birmingham. They have a Hard Knocks series, which I thought this was the craziest thing ever. So this guy, Devin Smith, running back for the Pittsburgh Maulers, I'm sure everybody has heard about this by now. This guy got cut because he didn't want chicken salad. He wanted pizza. So the coach comes in and tells him he's cut because he told the waiter that he didn't want chicken salad, and he saw the pizza and he wanted the pizza, and the waiter goes, "Is that going to be a problem?" And he goes, "Yes." And that was it. According to Devin, I don't know for certain. I was not there. I only watched the part where he got cut. So, with that being said, Do you think the USFL is just moving a little bit too fast, Caleb, or is it just one of those things we have to get used to?
So yeah, I mean, I was able to watch a couple games this current week, or I saw some of the highlights rather. As far as the question though, I would say, I mean, I think you do have to move fast, especially if you're a new like league coming up. This is the first time the USFL, is that the first time this came about?
No, so actually the USFL came about back in the 80s. My dad told me about it.
Okay, so this is its
But
resurgence, kind of.
Yeah, in a way, but back in the 80s, the USFL, the quarterbacks wear special pants. I mean, it was just weird. That was a weird one-hit wonder league that some NFL Hall of Famers played in, you know,
Right.
before they got back into the NFL.
Yeah,
But,
I so go back to the question. So I think it's a good thing that maybe, I believe they are moving maybe a little fast, but at the same point, like I think they have to. I mean, I was a big fan when the XFL was coming out, and I was actually keeping up with the teams and keeping up with the players and all that. But I kind of like what they're doing here. I think they do need like a D league, kind of like they have right here, just for people that can get more snaps, and a lot of the XFL players. I mean, the season wasn't even over, and we got what 20 to 30 players going and actually making some teams in the NFL just from what they saw on the field from them. So it's a good opportunity for some players to get their opportunity there, and then also that if you're just, I mean, if you want to play and you're maybe not good enough in the NFL or just want to stay in the United States and not go to Canada, or a European league, here you go. You got USFL.
yeah, and don't forget to mention the indoor football leagues too. The IFL, the Arena Football League as well.
But they're going to have different rules, so maybe not everybody wants to play those type of games. But
Right. And I did hear that The Rock was trying to converge the Canadian Football League and the XFL to like two different conferences, maybe. That would be kind of interesting because it's totally two different football systems right there. One of them is 12-man, the other one is 11-man, and it's just a weird combination, but it's a really good idea, I think. I mean, yeah, maybe the Canadian Football League might have to reduce down to 11 teams, but they could still keep the same idea of having that one slot receiver have a head start run, and as soon as the ball snap, everybody goes. I mean,
right.
I like that. I love the CFL. I wish I could cover the CFL. I just can't because I have no knowledge of the CFL besides the teams that are in it. I was more interested in it back when I was a junior and senior because if college wasn't going to work out or anything, I was going to go try up there. But that also didn't work out because I didn't have the want. So the want died out. So, but to your point, yeah, I do believe that you have to start fast, but you also have to pace yourself as a new league, and especially when you're playing on one field and one field only. I did hear that they might play back in their home cities in the playoffs, but it just doesn't make sense to me that they're having the regular season in Birmingham, just Birmingham, and then once playoffs starts, they go back home. Normally, what the XFL did right, and I don't think the XFL did anything wrong. I'll be the first one to say it if nobody said it. I think the XFL did a great thing. They let their teams. To be honest, Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that. To be honest, I mean the league was actually doing pretty solid. It wasn't even doing that bad. It's just when the whole pandemic hit, it kind of
the pandemic pretty much. Yeah, the pandemic pretty much killed that league, which they're not dead. They're just rebranded, just like the PMP. But what the USFL should learn from past spring leagues, such as the XFL and the Alliance of American Football. You remember that one? That one crashed due to financial, because I was wanting to go watch the San Antonio Commanders. I was a fan of San Antonio because they haven't had a pro team since back in the USFL days, to be exact.
Yeah, they had a big money problem there because I think, what was it, like almost every team had 5 or more players injured, and like they were like serious injuries, and they had to pay, help pay for that injury basically. So
Yeah,
that was,
that
they weren't expecting it, but it's just part of the game.
Yeah. That, and also the players were paying their own hotel rooms. They're paying for their own food. I mean, it was just a bad situation from the get-go, and nobody knew about this until the AAF decided to shut down. I was so freaking mad because I was going to go watch this game in Orlando. The San Antonio Commanders versus the Orlando Apollos. I ordered it, and sorry, we'll give you a refund back. And I was just angry. I was living in Jacksonville at the time, and man, I was upset. But back to the USFL, I think they should learn the pros and cons of what the spring leagues brought up. But I feel like if the USFL is going to survive, they got to do what they keep what they're doing, but they got to expand outside of Birmingham. They got to play more in different locations, because then Birmingham fans are going to get tired of watching the Pittsburgh Maulers and the New Jersey Generals and Houston Gamblers in Birmingham every week.
Right.
I mean, I'd be tired too. I'd be tired if the Cowboys were playing in Houston every week, So, and yeah, that's enough about the spring league news. So,
how many teams are there in the USFL?
There are 8 teams in the USFL. So,
and the XFL, do you remember how many teams they had?
They had 8 as well.
Okay.
So, and also the Alliance of American Football had 8 teams. So that's 24 teams. You could create a 24-team league right there. I mean, I sure would. That would be awesome. But let's go ahead and dive into the NFL section. So I just found out about this today. So the NFL has decided they will play 2 afternoon games and 1 primetime game for the first time ever on Christmas Day.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they're looking for more viewership for both, or for all, at Fox, CBS, and NBC. I mean, this is gonna be awesome to watch some Christmas football games. I mean, I certainly want to watch more football on Christmas. So that's the light news. Tampa Bay, though, has been making some really big moves. They signed Deadrian Sinat from Atlanta. They signed him to a one-year deal. And also, Tom Brady has agreed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to restructure his contract to create a $9 million
Cap space. Wow.
cap space. So that's good news for Tampa Bay. So is this a sign where Tampa Bay is going to try to go hunt for Baker Mayfield? You wonder. To groom him to be the next Tampa Bay Buccaneer quarterback. Or are Bucs fans telling me, TJ, you're stupid for even considering Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about that. I mean, he's gonna want more money.
Oh, for sure. I mean, how much they say that he was worth? 19 million, 19.5 million, somewhere around there.
I haven't looked that up, but yeah, he's probably
He's
worth about that.
Yeah, he's about the same worth as Sam Darnold, according to Carolina. So, Carolina, according to Ian Rappaport, is a likely source for Baker Mayfield, but I gotta say, Tampa Bay might be an interesting team to watch as well this next season. I mean, what can I say? They're going to be the NFC South champions again, but how are they going to do in the playoffs with LA possibly getting Tyrann Mathieu, or Arizona possibly getting back Kyler Murray now that he's tweeting positive things about Arizona? I mean, that's crazy as itself. Also, the NFC East, they don't have to worry about the NFC East. Let's be honest. San Fran, if Debo Samuel is actually serious about this, don't offer me a contract deal, San Francisco's in trouble. So really, you just have LA to worry about and Green Bay to worry about for Tampa Bay. So, I mean, it just seems like the NFC hasn't really done a whole lot compared to the AFC in this offseason. Especially with the AFC creating this ideology of becoming a super team. For example, Denver, Russell Wilson. Even though I don't think he's worth that much, Randy Gregory. The Las Vegas Raiders. They have Devontae Adams and Derek Carr back together for the first time since college. The Chargers, and this is all AFC West, by the way. The Chargers, J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, and Joey Bosa on the same defense.
Yeah.
New England, Bill Belichick's smart. Mac Jones is the perfect fit for New England right now. And they just got Devontae Parker. And speaking of Devontae Parker, Miami is another team to consider as a super team this year. I mean, yeah, they're not as high-powered as everybody else, but they got Tyreek Hill to help out in the receiving corps. I mean, what is going on with the NFC? The NFC in general. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of moves that I've heard from the NFC besides Carson Wentz going to the Commanders. I mean, what's the deal with the NFC?
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely not as much movement. We got to think about like the teams though. So like the Cowboys in general don't usually make much moves, at least in the past couple of years. Teams like the Rams. I mean, the Rams basically got everyone back at this point, and if not a better roster. I just feel like the AFC, they just wanted to get to be – I mean, it's going to be – even if you think about it, like NFC was more stacked than the AFC last year, so I guess now it's going to be more balanced because some of the NFC players that made the NFC more competitive than AFC. Now it's going to be more balanced out because a lot of those players went to AFC. So
it also seems like with that balance, it looks like the AFC is going to be a little bit more competitive now.
Yeah,
especially in the AFC West alone.
Right.
And the AFC West alone is going to be competitive.
Yeah.
The AFC East is going to be a battle for second place because we already know the Buffalo Bills are going to look good this coming up season. The AFC North is just a gauntlet. We don't know who's going to win that one every year. We just figured that the Ravens or the Steelers are going to win it every year. But it seems like Cleveland and Cincinnati are starting to hit their stride now and finally listening to their fans. The AFC South is a little bit weaker than all the AFC teams, but Jacksonville's starting to make moves. Houston, not as much, but they're looking to make some noise in the draft, I'm sure. The Colts, they got Matt Ryan. They got Stephon Gilmore from Carolina. And the Tennessee Titans, I mean, I just think they need a backup running back for Tennessee, and they're good.
They lost some of their backup running backs that they got a lot of productivity out of.
Yeah.
Just goes to show that the Tennessee Titans have once again a really good running offensive line.
Yes. But I do like, however, Carolina getting Devontae Foreman from Tennessee.
Oh yeah. Wait, what was that again?
Deontay Foreman going to Carolina. I like how the Panthers signed.
Yeah, he'll
Foreman.
be playing. All right. Okay. Just want to see you later. Okay.
Are you sure you're doing something probably around 11 or something?
Okay. I'll be in there in a little bit. All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, Deontay Foreman's going to basically be playing like. I mean, he's basically going to fill the void of what Mike Davis was for them about 2 years ago.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But also in news, speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just re-signed Terrell Edmonds for a one-year deal that's worth $2.5 million. Our source is Ian Rappaport. We love Ian Rappaport here on the PMP, so special shout out to Ian Rappaport.
And going back to the Bills here, just kind of going back, I'm looking at the depth chart. It looks pretty solid because they brought in Jamison Crowder, and then they got O.J. Howard, which O.J. Howard, we know he kind of hasn't lived up to the hype, but I mean, it's a solid backup tight end to be behind Dawson Knox, who's emerged into a good tight end.
Yeah, Dawson Knox, man, I had him on fantasy. He was a pretty decent tight end when you had a bye week, or you had starting tight end on bye week.
They even picked up. That's right. They got Duke Johnson too. Now they're kind of just running back by committee at this point. All those guys can play. Zach Moss, he's been injured. We haven't been able to see much of him. So,
but I will say this though. I wouldn't be surprised if the Buffalo Bills went for a running back either. So, and they could go for Isaiah Spiller. I think Isaiah Spiller would be a good fit for that offense. But don't be surprised if they don't go for a running back. But don't be surprised if they do go with a running back, because for one, Zach Moss gets injured a lot, and I don't know for certain, but I don't think they have a very big running back core. And having Isaiah Spiller there would be a really good fit for Buffalo. And I think he would emerge in that offense with Josh Allen. But yeah, back to Terrell Edmonds, safety for Pittsburgh. He signed a one-year deal for $2.5 million. Not bad. This is a pretty good signing for Pittsburgh. I mean, he performed pretty decent this past season with them. So one more year ain't gonna kill him, right?
Yeah, no, he's been serviceable. He can play the run pretty well. He's graded out pretty solidly.
Yeah.
And then not only that, he's young, so why not just bring back what is working at the moment? I mean, nothing.
Yeah, and plus, he's an expendable player. I mean, not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying they could go for a safety in a draft, or in this draft, and it wouldn't hurt to have him on there for one season on that roster. So.
And also,
Now,
I'm curious to see how Miles Boykins plays because just going to on the offensive side of the football, Miles Boykins got picked up by the Steelers off a waiver or from the Ravens. He kind of hasn't panned out for the Ravens. He's kind of just like a stiff, more, he just doesn't really have the skill, but he has the size and he's decently got the speed. I wonder how he's going to work out with the Steelers system.
Right. So it's pretty much a make it or break it for Miles Boykin at this point.
He's sitting as the third wide receiver right now, so it's a make it or break it.
He'll get some decent playing time. I mean, Mike Tomlin, he's usually more run heavy with his running backs, but I guess we'll see from Miles Boykin if he emerges or not. Who knows? I mean, James Washington, who's with the Cowboys now, he didn't really emerge as a Steeler wide receiver. He may have emerged as that Cedric Wilson for the Cowboys, but I'm interested to see what Jared Jones is up to. But we'll talk about that later. But right now, I want to talk about someone that we grew up watching, and he changed the wide receiving game for us. Deshaun Jackson. He's been in talks about retirement this year. But would love to consider playing one season if one of these four teams gets a hold of him and gives him a good offer for one season. Obviously, we probably know number one's pretty much a need for this team. I see it as a plus. It's a new team and a former division rival for Deshaun Jackson, the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a really good. He's a little bit older now, and he's had a couple injuries, but I think it would be a really, really good fit for that Kansas City offense, especially with Tyreek Hill gone.
Yeah, they need somebody that can have that big playability, but the only thing is availability with him at this point. I mean, you can get him maybe for 10 to 12 plays a game, and out of those 10 to 12 plays, even with him being older, I mean, just last year he shows that he still has some breakaway speed. He has some big playability. He can break it off for 30 yards.
Yeah, especially with what happened to the Cowboys. I mean, he absolutely torched them last season.
He looked pretty solid that game.
Yeah. Next team that you might not expect, because you don't know what the hell is going on with your team. Cleveland. Cleveland is a choice for Deshaun Jackson. I mean, this would help out Deshaun Watson and possibly give him the best receiving corps that he's had in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, going back to when he had D-Hop and Will Fuller, back when he had them two, you're probably saying so. I mean, you got a good amount of tight ends that can play. You brought in Amari Cooper, who's, I mean, he's nice. And then when you got Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's played better than I expected. He's big, strong, physical.
Big, strong, fast.
He can get the job done.
For sure.
I don't see him being any better than what he is now. I mean, as a serviceable number two, why not? You bring in Jakeem Grant. I mean, I see him as a kick returner, but he's working that slot right now. So definitely doesn't sound bad to bring in Deshaun Jackson for sure.
Not at all, man. I agree with that one. I'd honestly love to see him in Cleveland. I think he would love playing for Kevin Stefanski and Deshaun Jackson. Or Deshaun Watson. The next team is a very interesting team because they've had some buzz in the offseason with a massive trade, which they won, in my opinion, and the other team stunk it up. And that's the Denver Broncos. So, Russell Wilson to D-Jack? Do you see that as a future combination? Or quarterback-receiver combo? But then again, like you said, availability too with Deshaun Jackson. But when he can get in the game, he can come up with big plays. I personally like that Russell Wilson is with the Denver Broncos. He's with a better offensive line. He just needs a good back in there. So maybe Denver could trade up and get old Breece Hall from Iowa State to help out Russell Wilson.
Hey, one moment. I'll be right back. Excuse me.
Do your thing, man. I'll keep discussing a little bit. So, yeah, for me personally, I like the idea of having Deshaun Jackson there to help out the receiving corps, especially helping out Russ. I mean, he's a quick target. You can run quick outs. You can get him in the deep pass. I mean, Denver has a perfect opportunity to prove everybody wrong, especially the Kansas City Chiefs, the Raiders, the Chargers. Right now, that division is the toughest division I have ever seen in all of NFL. I haven't seen a division this tough to look at in a long time and to cover. And we'll get Kaleb's thoughts here a little bit. He's just taking a little break right now, doing something. But my thoughts on this last one would help this guy out. This guy has been wanting help in the receiver depth chart. He's only had 1 or 2 targets that have been good in the recent years. So, A-Rod, if you get Deshaun Jackson, I hope he stays healthy for you because I think that would be an excellent fit right there too. So, D-Jack to Green Bay would be an awesome fit in my opinion. So we'll get Kaleb's opinion here in a little bit on Deshaun Jackson going to possibly Denver or Green Bay. So whenever he comes back in, we'll find out. But we'll talk a little bit about the draft special while we're at it. So this draft special is supposed to be one of the biggest moments in the PMP history. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this to happen. And me and Kaleb are going to be sitting there watching the draft. We're going to be watching the draft for as long as it goes. Have our pre-draft talk and post-draft talk. So this is going to be crazy. And I'm excited to show everybody what we can do on a live stream. So I am just really excited about this. So hopefully Kaleb comes back real soon because we got a lot more to talk about. See Shadow. There he is. Now he just needs to unmute his mic.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I am dog sitting right now, so I had to put
good old Samson.
Yeah, I had to put the shock collar on him and shock him a couple times and put him in the bedroom. Don't worry, it's not animal abuse.
Woo. It's not. It's
All right.
disciplinary action.
Sorry
So
about that.
you're good. There's two teams that I've already talked about that I want to get your thoughts on for Deshaun Jackson possibly going to these two teams. Team number one, Russell Wilson with Deshaun Jackson, Denver Broncos. How do you feel about it?
No, I don't see it as a good fit. Just in my eyes, I think it's kind of. I mean, you have plenty of room at wide receiver that you don't need room actually for because you have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, all these guys. You know, Deshaun Jackson, if he comes back, he's going to want to play. You know, he's going to want to play a role. So with him being the fourth wide receiver, he's not going to see the field very much, in my opinion, unless they do, you know, 4 wide receiver sets, which I don't know. Russell Wilson's kind of benefited from the tight end position. And as of right now, they have Albert O. I'm not going to pronounce that name.
Yeah.
That's why. But, yeah, I mean, I just don't see that as a good fit. Is that one of the teams that he's looking at right now?
Yeah, that is one of the teams he's considering.
Really? Okay.
That if they contact him, that's the thing. If they contact him, he will sign with those 4 teams. But this last team, you may come in agreement with me about this. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. How do you feel about that? Because Aaron Rodgers needs some targets. I mean, yeah, Deshaun Jackson is a little bit older. He has a little bit of availability. But I think that it'll help out A-Rod a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, bring him in. They need all the help they can get. But no, on a serious note, yeah. Hold on. Let me just pull up the depth chart. You'll help me out here because it's been a very busy couple weeks. I got a baby on the way. Been taking care of a lot of stuff.
Hey, congratulations, by the way, brother.
Thank you.
I'm sure the PMP fans are excited to hear about little Kaleb Wilburn coming out, and I'm excited. Uncle TJ's ready to go, man. He's ready to coach him up. Coach him up to be the best best damn athlete that everybody has ever seen.
Time.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah.
Also going to be one of the toughest kids.
Come lay down. Come here.
And also Kaleb also has a dog son named Samson.
Okay.
So
once again,
all right. You're fine. It's our first episode in a long time, so I'm sure the fans can understand it. But Green Bay, Deshaun Jackson with Aaron Rodgers. I like it. I honestly like it for a quick route standpoint and also one play deep route. I think that would work out well in the slot position for Deshaun Jackson. And plus, he's going against Patrick Peterson and company up there in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Jeff Okudah for Detroit. I mean there's
yeah, that would change up the whole wide receiver situation because the last 3 to 4 years has been just nothing but like tight end built wide receivers over there. I mean, I'm talking about like 6'3" and up in height that were mainly on the field. And some of them played pretty good. Alan Lazard played better than expected. Just not really consistent.
Yeah.
And then you got MVS, which he's gone, but you know what I'm saying? It would be definitely a different wide receiver group that he is not used to.
Yeah, but one problem with Green Bay. Apparently they don't listen to their fans. The fans have been wanting a tight end since 2003. First rounder, Javon Walker. Last first round pick for wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. And the one sticking year they asked for a wide receiver. In 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers traded the Miami Dolphins for this guy, Jordan Love. And what was the best case scenario for this guy? I don't know. But shout out to Ty Smith for expressing his feelings about it. He was not happy. I don't think if he was the exact representation of what Green Bay Packer fans are, I'm pretty sure they put for sale signs for Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur on their lawn, and also threw a bunch of bricks at their houses. I mean, Green Bay has been just needing a wide receiver for a long time. Not only getting Deshaun Jackson for wide receiver, but a first-round draft pick, they need a wide receiver. This is the class to get a wide receiver. You got Drake London. You got Garrett Wilson. You got Chris Olave. Traylon Burks. Jameson Williams. You got so many options at wide receiver this year to get. And you can also get a second-round pick for wide receiver if you're Green Bay. So what does Green Bay have to do in order to actually commit to be a wide receiver heavy draft, or for this draft to be a wide receiver heavy draft for the Green Bay Packers?
Well, seeing that they missed on Jordan Love, I mean, Aaron Rodgers wasn't supposed to be even in the building at this point. I mean, 2 years from now, with all the conflict and all the stuff they've had with, the team and the organization there. So yeah, it's, the Jordan Love pick. I mean, like you said in the past, like it would just at the beginning of it all, it just was not a very smart pick. Yeah, he had some flashes in the pan, but I mean, even then, that's a long shot, and at this point, it's been a terrible, terrible pick. And so I think at this point, I mean, they did pick up Amari Rodgers, which he didn't really play a very big role. He was like a punt returner, kick returner. I mean, maybe that's all he's going to be. But I'd like to see him more on the field. I saw a lot of good things in him and his, OTAs and his off-season preps and stuff like that. Not the biggest guy, but a pretty good route runner. He can also go up and get it for a guy that's not really the biggest one. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
I don't believe they'll. I think they're definitely going to have to. You would think. I mean, Packers fans, I know they hate how they haven't been able to, because they could have got a lot of good wide receivers in the past couple of years.
Not to mention that last year when they drafted Jordan Love, they were in the NFC Championship game. They gave up 300 yards total in that game, in the NFC Championship game. No help for Rodgers. They could have gotten a defensive back. They could have gotten a linebacker, a defensive lineman, or, for Aaron Rodgers' sake, a wide receiver to help out Devontae Adams, to help out MVS. I mean, they had Justin Jefferson in their hands. They could have traded up for Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb. But what did they do? They traded up for Jordan Love, which to this day, I still question that. But enough of the Green Bay spiel about.
Yeah, I think they doubled down.
Yeah. But enough of the good old Green Bay.
They should double down.
For sure. Let's talk about Deebo Samuel.
It's a good draft to double down for sure.
Yeah. But let's talk about Deebo Samuel real quick before we get into our actual pre-draft talk, before we get off here. This trade request is starting to become starting becoming a revolution for wide receivers. Because now A.J. Brown is in talks with Tennessee, removed all of Tennessee's social medias off of his page, removed Tennessee off his maps. I mean, is this the negotiation trends for all NFL players? Or is this just a
I'm sorry to say, but I think what was that?
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead and finish. I was waiting to see what you said.
So anyways, do you think it's like a petty move by these players? Star-studded athletes. Don't get me wrong, they are star-studded. Deebo Samuel, I think, has a reason why, or he has a legit reason why he should ask for a trade request and tell the 49ers to stick it. But A.J. Brown, why is he doing the negotiations like that? And the funny thing is, A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel both have the same agent. And there's a video leaked out. His stepmom actually does like a TikTok live or whatnot. I used to do TikTok live, so I'm not doing it anymore, I don't think. But she does this TikTok live. This is a supposed video of Deebo Samuel talking to A.J. Brown about their contract talks, about their offer talks. And Deebo Samuel was saying, I haven't heard any offer. A.J. Brown's getting this offer. So what is going on here? And what do you think about this whole situation with Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, possibly Scary Terry? Heck, even Kyler Murray. What do you think about all this?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The NFL, I think, is turning into the NBA. NBA, their players run the league. NFL, it's pretty much, coaches run the league. The owners run the league. The people that run the league. It's starting to push towards more that way. I think all the players maybe are fed up. Yeah, they're getting paid a whole bunch of money already, but that's just where it's going.
Right.
It could be. It could be even more. In the coming years, where we just see players up and leave after, say, 2 seasons, even if they're having a good season, maybe if they're not getting paid as much as they think they should, hell, they might be out. I can understand Deebo Samuel. It's a little bit different. The guy literally averaged 6 yards a carry running the freaking ball last year, and he had 8 touchdowns.
With 60 carries, and
right.
Almost 400 yards, I believe. It's either almost 400.
Yeah, and then he had 1,400 receiving, so he's doing everything at a high level. Granted, they did have a good offensive line, a good coaching scheme. It's not only Deebo, because we've seen Deebo. He's been able to he can be stopped. It's just tough. Same thing with Derrick Henry.
Yes.
These guys deserve to get paid because without them, they don't really. These are the best fits for the system that the coaches put in place. So, AJ Brown, he's a great receiver. He's definitely better than I thought he was going to be. So, 1 second. Oh, my bad. But yeah, no, I think, yeah. So AJ Brown, you said they had the same agents.
Yes, they do. Mr. Dandy is what I heard his name was. Todd Dandy, I think that's his name. And they had the same agents. So does Terry McLaurin, I think, has the same agent as them as well. So I might have my facts wrong.
Terry McLaurin trying to leave because he's not getting paid.
That or he doesn't have any other receiver besides himself to get receptions and to help out Carson Wentz, which I think the Commanders are actually going to get a wide receiver in the first round. And
Can the 49ers give the bag to Debo, though? Does he want to restructure his contract? Does he just want more money?
he does not.
What are we doing?
So from
He just
Ian
wants out,
Rappaport,
right?
from Ian Rappaport, Debo actually said, "Don't give me an offer. I want out." So he's looking at some spots right now, and it seems like he's looking in New York, not the Giants, the Jets, surprisingly. Indianapolis might be a good spot for him. I would say Dallas, but they don't have the running back room for Deebo Samuel to be utilized in. So he would just be used as a slot. There's a lot of teams that could use him. You know, Miami could use him. That way you could have the Deebo Tyreek connection. I mean, that would be scary if Miami got a hold of Deebo Samuel. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's true.
I think it's a crazy situation with what's happening with Deebo Samuel, and the whole Kyler Murray thing is confusing to me. Like, it just seems like that Kyler Murray is almost out of the door of football and about to go play for the Oakland Athletics. I mean, it's crazy. But enough of that talk. Let's talk about what we actually came here for. The pre-draft special. So we're here to talk about what's going to happen in this draft, what we think is going to happen, who's going to trade up, who's going to trade back, what we heard about the draft, who is going to be the number one pick in the NFL draft of 2022. Let's get to it. So my thing is this, Caleb. I feel like there's going to be a lot of shifting going on in this draft. Jerry Jones is the only guy that's looking to move up in this year's draft. He's looking to trade up from that 24th spot. So what happens if he trades up with, say, Atlanta, gets that number 8 spot, and he tries to get Garrett Wilson or possibly a really good offensive lineman, because Dallas is in need of offensive linemen. They're in need of wide receivers, but they're also in need of a good secondary to help out Trevon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is going to happen, man? I mean, there's just going to be a lot of movement, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that aren't in the first round. They're going to try to bump in. I think there's possibly going to be a number 1 draft pick going to be traded. And someone's going to get a quarterback in the first round, maybe.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. Like, how many quarterbacks are going to be in this first round? It doesn't look like an impressive class. We'll maybe see 2 at most, if any. You know, I mean, the highest one that I've seen is on a lot of draft boards is Malik Wilson at 23, or
Malik Willis.
Or my bad,
Yeah.
Willis. My bad. I was looking at Jordan Wilson.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
It's all good.
There's going to be a lot of trades the first day, though, for sure. First day in the draft, I could say. There's still a lot of players that need to be moved. I mean, what?
Do you think Jerry Jones is going to do the unthinkable in this draft and trade San Francisco the first round draft pick for Deebo Samuel? Is that a possibility?
I mean, no, it's not going to happen. We're pretty much married to Zeke at this point. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, respectfully.
Respectfully.
It's just not in the talks, and yeah, we'd have to change a lot of things. Our scheme doesn't really fit. Like
Yeah,
Debo.
but I think Kellen Moore would be able to work around Debo Samuel in the sense. I mean,
He's
just
creative for sure.
Yeah, almost the way Kyle Shanahan had Debo Samuel, but maybe a little bit modified to where Zeke will still get the carries, and Tony Pollard will be the second guy, and then maybe have Debo Samuel as like a special back for like a special plays. But there's a rumor spread around. According on the show, there was a caller from the Pat McAfee show saying that the Jacksonville Jaguars are interested in trading their first-round draft pick, and the likely source would be the Carolina Panthers for a first-round draft pick, and that would be a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's possible? Do you think that Jacksonville would give up that first spot, or are they just going to tease Carolina into thinking they're going to get that first-round draft pick, and really they're just going to screw them over?
I mean, then I would have to definitely see. You say Carolina would want to probably go down, trade down?
Yes. Yeah, Carolina, they're at the sixth spot right now, but Carolina's looking to get that first spot, according to sources from that caller on the Pat McAfee show.
I mean, I don't see it happening because I saw a lot. There's been a lot of reports and just news on Aiden Hutchinson going towards. He's even visiting Jacksonville's facility, the stadium, and all that.
Yeah.
I just don't see any. It'd have to be it'd have to be a big move. But
it would have to be a crazy move. Like,
with him being the best overall player in the draft and a defensive player in Jacksonville, they need that. They need to just stick to it and go ahead and get the safe pick in Aiden Hutchinson because his floor is really high. His ceiling is pretty high as well. I don't see this as a horrible pick. I think he's going to be a good player in this league. Top 25 pass rusher. So.
Yeah. And we've seen Aiden Hutchinson when he was playing for Michigan. I mean, he's just an absolute monster. I mean, he's like a smaller, more flexible J.J. Watt, I see.
I've seen Max Crosby comparisons. And
Max Crosby too.
I can kind of see that a little bit. I think he's a little bit slower than Max Crosby. But that's good. He has a good motor. He's really good against the run. He's very, he's got really good IQ. So, he's a good player.
I'd have to agree, man.
If there's one thing I think he could work on, it would be just his overall bend, with his flexibility. But
yes,
he's a secure. He's going to be able to stop the run good. And he's going to be able to just. I think he'll even stay healthy and all that. He's going to be a good player for the Jacksonville.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We hope.
And then with
I think so too.
Chason not really panning out, which is unfortunate because he's a freak.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he was a freak.
Go ahead and take him.
Yeah. But let's talk about who we're thinking who's going to get the number one draft and who we think is going to be a part of that first-round draft pick. Who is your team that's going to get that first-round draft pick? Which I think I already know who, which I'm pretty sure everybody has picked this team to get this first-round draft pick because they're not stupid enough to trade for a first-round draft pick. And who do you think why Jacksonville will get this player?
You're saying that so you're asking, is Jacksonville basically going to be the team?
I think so. I think that report was a folly. So I think Jacksonville's got the number one spot.
Yeah, I think it's as sure as ever. I just feel it, and I mean, coming down to the time periods and just kind of been used to it, I think it's pretty sealed.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
been
not,
Jacksonville's fate.
and this isn't even like a QB we're talking about, because QBs are usually, without a doubt, like if there's going to be a guy that goes number one, he's going to go number one. It's usually that way it is. The only one that was kind of like that
Yeah,
was Baker. I was kind of surprised about Baker going number one. I actually picked Sam Darnold going number one, and either way, they both really didn't pan out if you really want to go that way.
I actually forgot who I put for my number one that year.
That was the
But,
2019 draft.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Wait, 2019. That was 2018.
Was it? It was 2018. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I remember because Kyler Murray was still in Oklahoma when that draft happened. So, but that being said, who is Jacksonville going to get? Who do you think Jacksonville is going to get? Because this is probably the most quietest draft that we've ever had in quite some time, and
At least 5
there's
years.
not a sure number one. Yeah, and there's no sure number one. Like, there's reports saying that Walker from Georgia is going to go number one. There's talks that Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be number one. There's
I've
talks
heard
of
that. Yeah.
there's talks of even Ahmad Gardner. I mean, that's quiet talk, but there's talk of Gardner going to Jacksonville. But who do you have?
No, yeah, I think they should go edge. If they don't go Aiden Hutchinson, I would say it's a stretch. But yeah, go Kayvon Thibodeau. I think that'd be a good way. I mean, yeah,
Wow.
there's some red flags with him, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I think he's got upside.
So you're saying Aiden Hutchinson on the safe side, and for a risky first-round draft pick, Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah, I think edge has more movement than say like a really good DB, and there's some really good DBs in this class as well. But
Yeah.
I think if you're going to have a little more value at the position, it's going to be at edge. I think everybody agrees on that. It's going to be at edge. So
Oh, for sure.
to be honest, I kind of like Thibodeau a little bit more than Hutchinson. That might be
I do too.
a reach.
Yeah.
But I just like the way I like the way he plays a little bit more. But I think if you're going to have a safer pick, you're going to want to go with Hutchinson. So
Yeah.
I
mean, I
think
caught
Hutchinson's number one in my opinion.
So I kind of had your idea. Aiden Hutchinson would be the safe pick. The risky pick would be Kayvon Thibodeau. But I also thought about their D-line. They actually need a pretty decent D-line as well. So
Yeah, and
I
you
went
have
with
you have Allen.
yeah, and I added a Georgia Bulldog, Trayvon Walker, an outstanding defensive lineman for the Georgia Bulldogs, who helped lead the Bulldogs to a national championship. And that defense was scary. And I tell you what, if he goes to Jacksonville, there's going to be a force to be reckoned with. We might have Saxonville 2.0. I was there for the first Saxonville. So it will be an interesting draft. So there's also going to be a wild card that I think is going to happen too. I think Jerry Jones is going to trade up. I think he's going to try to go for a top 10 pick. Probably go after one of New York's picks.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he's going to go for the 7th round pick. And I think they're going to go wide receiver. That is going to be my wild card move. It's not foreseeable. It's not my prediction. It's just what I think will happen. It's not what I feel like is going to happen. I just have that think. if that makes sense. So that's what I think will happen. Jerry Jones will trade up for this draft because he's the only one that's outspoken and has said, I will trade up in this draft. So,
Man, I would like to get the Cowboys to get Jameson Williams, but I know he's not going to fall that far.
I actually would like Garrett Wilson to be
There's no
part
way.
of the Cowboys as well.
Yeah, there's no way, chat. I don't think Garrett's going to fall. I mean, he's listed as 7 here. Yeah. Well, I mean, what is our round? Are we like 24th, right?
Yeah, we're 24.
We are 24.
So we are 24.
Wow, actually,
And that's
for real. I just guessed that.
Yeah, and that's our actual draft pick. That's our one draft pick. We don't have another. We don't have another one. So.
Wait, what do you mean we don't have any more?
Well, just for this first round.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what? What have I missed? I was like, we traded all of the picks? Sheesh.
We might as well because we haven't done anything. Dallas hasn't done anything in this free agency except for downgrade.
You said you want wide receiver. I think we should get a DB, man.
That would be nice too.
There's a lot of DBs on here, man.
Especially Derek Stingley Jr., Ahmad Gardner, which
they're
gonna get picked up.
That's so nice because McDuffie, he has high upside.
Yeah, McDuffie, I love that kid. I love watching him play. I think he's gonna be.
He's listed as 22nd in the whole draft on the CBS. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah.
There's a possibility he could fall. I don't know any I don't have any red flags with him or anything like that.
No, I mean, the only one that really stands out, corner-wise, that really stands out from the rest is Ahmad Gardner. I mean,
yeah,
he's just a beast, man. Didn't give up over 100 yards. Never gave up a touchdown in college. That's unheard of. In any position, especially corner, to not give up any touchdowns and to hold receivers to less than 100, maybe 50 yards in a game. That's absurd to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he went up against Notre Dame. He went up against Alabama. He went up against Jameson Williams. I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything, then you're clueless in my mind. I mean, if you don't know who Ahmad Sauce Gardner is, you need to watch out for this kid. And I expect him to go up high in this draft. I mean, there's a lot of teams that need corners, and he's right in that picture. So,
yeah, I agree.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, Cowboys go corner. I think they have a good chance to get McDuffie. I like his size, 5'11", 190 ratio. It's nice. And then just what he's done in college has been good. And then you got one that I think could be a sleeper, and Kyler Gordon, 6 foot 194. I think that's just a good size. I think that's as a corner. I like the 5'11" to 6'1" range.
That's a good range right there.
Gardner, he's 6'3", 190. I mean, we're talking Sherman right there. It's Sherman status.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that concludes our first episode back on this podcast. I gotta say, Caleb, I had fun talking about news for the first time in a long time that we've been on this podcast, and I gotta say, man, I missed this, and I'm glad that I finally got my own house. Claps for that. And now I got AT&T Fiber, so our internet's going to be running real smoothly. So now we should get more episodes on. We'll try to make this a weekly thing. But the draft special will be on Thursday on draft day at 6 p.m. Central Time. So 7 p.m. for you Eastern Time, guys, and about 4 p.m. Eastern Time or Western Time, Pacific Time. So
Yes, and we will be live. So get your popcorn,
and,
drinks.
Yes.
Come sit down and watch it with us, man. If not, I mean, if you stay the whole 4 hours, you're insane. But come in, at least watch the first couple kicks. That'd be dope.
And expect one of us to freak out about a draft pick because Kaleb is not only a Cowboys fan, he is a Brownie. So if we see a Cleveland Brown move and Kaleb doesn't like it, expect him to say some pretty harsh things about his organization.
I mean they can't, you know what I'm saying? They can only get better.
They can only get better. Same thing with Dallas.
Can't make any more bonehead decisions. You know, it's been a good offseason for us.
Not for Dallas, and
we
that's
pretty much cleaned house on offense.
Yeah, and y'all have a convicted felon on y'all's offense too. So
we won't talk about that.
We won't talk about that. But also, we're fans of Dallas. And I guarantee you, if I see a draft pick that I don't like, I'm going to lose my shit.
Hey,
and
that's the whole point of it, man. I'm excited as hell now that you think about it.
I know, me too.
I'm like getting more excited. I mean,
Yeah.
First hour, I'll probably be super excited. In the fourth hour, I'll probably be asleep. So, hey.
we'll be crashed out a little bit. We'll be in our snuggies or whatever, just trying to see who's getting drafted, but really we're just passing out.
Right.
But we're gonna try to stay up for you guys because you guys deserve to watch some quality entertainment. You deserve to see our reactions to see what the hell is going on in this draft. I mean, and also the live stream is unrestricted. So what that means is we're allowed to cuss a little bit on this live stream. So, like I said, get your popcorn ready. And this is our first time actually doing this, folks. So bear with us on this live stream because not only am I going to do it on YouTube, we're going to go on Facebook as well.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I might do 2 meetings with me and Kaleb, or I might just do 1 meeting and then I'll have one go to YouTube and the other one go into Facebook. But we'll figure that out as we go along. There's still talks of us trying to figure this stuff out, and if this live stream goes well, we might do more in the future. We might even have a live stream every week. You never know. So, fasten your seatbelts and kick it into overdrive because the PMP is back and we're back stronger than ever.
And also,
so, Kaleb,
just one last note.
go ahead.
One last note. And all we're talking about here is everything football. None of that other stuff. But feel free to chime in. Any comments, anything like that, we'll go ahead and we'll make sure we're answering on the spot. Yeah, because we love to talk to everybody. So, and then another thing, it's everything football. So, you know, shoot, if it's even video games, you want to pop in something about your old Madden or whatever, just anything like that. NCAA, go ahead, man. We're all about it. So, that's all I got.
And we'll also talk about Madden soundtracks too, like our favorite Madden soundtracks. I was just listening to the Madden 06 soundtrack this morning to work, and boy, was I pumped up for the first hour. Some bangers. I'm talking about Slim Thug. I'm talking about Chameleonaire. I'm talking about all those names in there. Even
My personal favorite is Madden 09 soundtrack. It just has something to it. It
ooh,
just has a
yeah.
little bit of
There's just
dance
something
to it.
about that one too.
But yeah.
Madden 08 too. Madden 08 had a pretty good soundtrack. But
Yeah.
let's give our final thoughts. Caleb, you got anything to share about coming back to the PMP and coming back to a PMP with a live stream? Are you freaking kidding me? What's your final thoughts, bro?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. I'm not excited about the sliding though. I feel like I'm a zombie or something, or I'm dead, or I'm in some sort of like movie, or I feel like I've just been inside for my whole life. Anyways, yeah, no, but I'm excited. Tonight I may not be as hyped as usual. Like I'm watching these dogs. I gotta stay quiet. People are sleeping. But yeah, no, but I'm excited. We have tons of things to talk about. We're going to be bringing a lot of notes to it. We're going to be talking about every player. It's not going to be about just what you see on TV, like the big storylines. It's going to be little things that you may not hear about. It's going to be little, maybe players or coaches that may not be talked about as much. We're going to be digging deep and trying to find some stuff for y'all to know.
And also this draft special, it's nothing but the draft. So whatever news that we hear about, it's got to be draft specific. So that's the main focus of that day is the draft. Now, if somehow somebody trades a draft pick for Deebo Samuel, that's a different story. You know, something like that has to be reported.
Right, for sure.
I mean, because that affects one team and that affects another team in a good way. And honestly, it's a win-win situation.
The whole
league, really.
Yeah.
Literally, the whole league. So, my final thoughts is this. We're back. We're here to stay. And honestly, I apologize to the fans for keeping y'all so long waiting on us. And I promise you, I will make things work out with the PMP. And also, me and Caleb got some special gifts. Or got some special things that we're going to be wearing if Caleb's gifts come in on time. And I'm actually wearing it right now, but I'm not going to show you what it looks like just yet. But I tell you what, this draft special is going to be fun.
It sounded very kinky, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry.
I might have just turned on Caleb a little bit, but we'll save that for the draft special.
Yeah, that'll be the big bang right there.
Yeah, the Big Bang thing, you know what I'm saying? But on a serious note, we'll be live 6 p.m. sharp on the live stream, YouTube, Facebook. If you don't have the PMP on your Facebook or YouTube, you better follow us and be sure to find out when, where, and how to get onto the live stream because we are going to be live. We are going to be talking. We are going to be cracking jokes. We are going to be having fun. That's what the draft special is all about, is having fun, talk about football, talk about the future of the NFL, and also listening to y'all's comments. That's the most important thing. How do y'all feel about y'all's teams getting this special player? Or do you not like this pick? I mean, we want to hear from you guys. We really do. And this is the perfect opportunity. I mean, really, I am excited as a fan, as a podcaster, as a PMP analyst to cover the draft because this is something that we have never done, and I'm pretty sure that nobody else ever tries to do except for Pat McAfee. I mean, that guy's a freaking animal. His schedule's crazy. But shout out to Pat McAfee and the Pat McAfee Show. Thank you for providing good entertainment for us to come back on, even though y'all didn't physically or verbally tell us to come back. y'all influenced us to come back onto this show and actually put in the work, put in the grind, and we had to spend money, but we're here to work, and we're here to get the job done. And I tell you what, we're getting ready to get off that bench, and we're ready to get back on the field because it's time for the cream of the crop to come back to its roots. It's time for the best damn podcast of all football to come back. We are the PMP. Good night, everybody. We love you. We will see you later. Sayonara. Goodbye. Mwah. Good night. Bang.
They